So, this video is going to be about my review of a documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts. I should tell everyone that it's not intended for minors. It's not rated. It deals with drug abuse, child sex abuse, heavy subject matter. And it is very, very deep. It is about an hour and 36 minutes total running time. That chronicles Jake's public incident that happened in December 2008. And it goes from there to him meeting with Dallas, and Dallas trying to help him beat his addiction, because before all that he was heavily addicted to crack cocaine. So he went every day for over 20 years using that and using alcohol as a means to escape his demons. Of course, he's one of the best wrestlers the world has ever seen. He is now working for AEW as a manager. He's done everything that you could possibly do as a wrestler and more. And he lost time with his wives and with his children and grandchildren. But now that he's sober, he is spending more time with family and, making every day count. I myself have watched countless family members die on both sides of my family, my mother's and my father's. And to tell you, I've lost at least 15 people up to this very point. The first person I lost was our Uncle Don in 88. Then our Uncle Alan in 92, shortly after my 6th birthday. Then in 97, one of my foster siblings from a heart condition. In 99, and then within that same year before that, we lost our Aunt Joyce to a heart condition. 2006, we ended up losing Grandpa Charlie, which is my dad's dad. And then 2012, we lost our mom. Lifestyle choices, drugs and alcohol. For her, she was 47 years old. And then our father, first it was her brother Dale, which is mine and my sib's uncle on my mother's side, in May from a brain tumor. And then in October we lost our dad on the 9th. And then in 2018, we lost another relative, our Aunt Nina on my mother's side. Again, lifestyle choices. That same year, we ended up losing Cousin Sonny to alcohol. 2020, we lost Grandma Marlene from natural causes. And then now, within that same year, in October, we lost Rick. Those are a total of 15 people that I lost throughout my life that I was very close to. So I don't deal with addiction very well. I watched my mother struggle countless times throughout my life. It got to the point where our dad had to take custody of me because our mom, decided to put drugs and other things before me. And that was not healthy, so Dad had to step in and take over. By the time I was 18, I again kept fighting for Mom's attention. Didn't go so well. Up until a few months before she passed, we tried to patch things up, but she wasn't ready to quit, and we ended up losing her. So watching this was heartbreaking to some extent, because The thing that Jake overcame, I wish my other relatives had the chance to overcome and actually live to see me and my sibs, have kids and be parents and get to meet our children. But a lot of them didn't because, some of them made lifestyle choices that were not healthy and not okay. And now they're not here. But thankfully for me, I don't touch drugs. I've never done weed or crack cocaine or heroin. My issue was with alcohol. Okay. I've been exposed to it as a child, and I watched my parents drink on and off as a means to get comfortable or wind down. I started drinking when I was about 19, on and off. I quit in 2016, and now I haven't taken a look. I haven't looked back on it and say, "Hey, I want to do that again," because it's not worth drinking alcohol over. It's not drinking every day is not drinking alcohol every day is not a necessity for me. It's not something that I think I want to do all the time every day. I don't know how people can do that. I can see it being a escape from past abuse, whether it be sexual or physical abuse, as a means to cope with it. But my whole thing was, besides the alcohol, was to withdraw. I myself am a victim of sexual assault. It happened when I was 9, which resulted in me being in foster care till I was 18, and me having body image issues and not feeling comfortable with myself. Now I'm in the process of trying to love myself because I still don't know how to. I'm not comfortable yet. It's not easy to talk about, but Jake has made it possible for me to face it, even though I don't want to, if that makes any sense. Seeing this man go from being one of the most popular wrestlers before I was even born to watching him fall and then get back up and be sober is the most incredible thing that you could see. You could watch a person go through. I mean, he's managed to beat the odds. You see him, you see Jake, and you see Scott Hall, you know, having to fight their addictions, and then them go to DDP for help and say, "Hey, bro, we need help. I need help. I'm struggling. I'm at the point where I want to die." To see them be where they're at now is incredible. And I just want to say thank you to Jake for helping me face my demons, even though I don't want to. It's taken a long time for me to face them. I'm still not quite there yet, but I'm making strides. Talking about it does help, although I have times where I don't want to talk about it because it's triggering and it's bothersome. But, it is what it is. Everybody goes through this and handles it differently. My choice was to drink alcohol on and off to cope and withdraw because I didn't know how to open up to people. My whole thing is I read people. I can see how they act when they're around certain people and how they act when they're, not around everyone in private. And that's my thing. I'm not as good as you, but I hope to be better at reading people and knowing what their motives are and not being so quick to say, "Hey, I don't trust you." But I thank you for helping me come to terms with mine. I'm not there yet, but I sure as hell am not where I was years ago, which is to the point where I withdrew. I'm still trying to learn not to withdraw so much because people want to know, why are you so quiet for? Why don't you talk to anybody? Why, you're so standoffish? Well, I went out of my way to help people, and not a lot of people that I help deserve to have my help because they use what I say and how I say it against me as a means to hurt me as leverage. So I'm very cautious of who I let into my life. You know, it's not an easy thing to talk about, but you know, I went through counseling. I haven't gone through therapy yet. I don't open up very well to people, you know, so that's hard for me to do on my part. So like I said, you know, I'm not where I was years ago, but I'm not quite where I want to be yet. And that's a long, long way to go still. Because there's parts of me, I'm very stubborn. If I want something, I'll find a way to get it. If I don't, you know, if people want to know certain things, I always tell them, I'll tell you in my own time. I don't want things being forced out of me because that just makes me shut down. That's one of my bad habits is shutting off when people want to help. You know, I've had people come to me, talk to me, kid, you okay? Not really, but I don't want to talk about it. Talking about it helps. Well, guess what? That's not my thing. I don't talk like I do to everyone else, except this is my review of Jake's documentary and how Jake helped me in a way to come to terms with mine. I don't have to drink to escape my trauma. I face it in my own way. I write about it, you know. I talk about it. It helps me rather than going to booze or any type of drug that would help numb it. I don't do that stuff because it's not a way to live. I don't know how a person can decide, hey, and not decide, but use alcohol or drugs as a means to escape their trauma because they figure it's easier to numb it with, you know, with any poison they choose rather than face it on their own or face it with help. That's my thing was not only was it alcohol, but it was me withdrawing from people, kind of isolating myself. If I felt someone was trying to get me to speak about something that I wasn't ready to talk about, I withdrew. I stayed in my room as a means to protect myself. It's not as bad as it once was. It's just now I'm not a people person, and that's just me being me. I don't like being stared at when I'm in public. It should be noted that I have cerebral palsy. I was diagnosed with this when I was 2, before I turned 3. So it's been a struggle for me. My struggle now is self-love and trying not to isolate so much. Not that I don't care about people, it's just that people have a tendency to want to nitpick everything you do and everything you say and tell you that what happened to you wasn't your fault. Of course, it wasn't my fault, but I am forever scarred by that. And as an adult, I am very cautious of who I let into my life. So, you know, but I'm sober now, and it's the best thing in the world that I could ever ask for. Yeah, it's like I said, this documentary is not intended for minors. It is heavy in subject matter, but it's a deep look into Jake's rise, fall, and coming back and being better than ever. And we wanted to say thank you.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you, bro.
For helping us deal with what we've had to deal with as kids. It's not an easy thing to do, but we're taking it each step at a time, as much as we possibly can.
We're huge fans, bud. Keep doing what you do, man. Love you.
So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. I know I chipped in a lot of my personal struggles, but I needed people to understand how this documentary helped me personally face my demons, because I've always been known to be a quiet person for various reasons. People wanted me to be loud and talkish, and I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't need to show off in front of people kids at the school would be like, why is she so quiet? Why does she not say anything? Why does she not say anything? Well, if you ask me to say something, it's going to be sarcastic and obscene, and I don't think you want to hear it, so don't ask anymore. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Again, thank you, Jake. I appreciate this. This means a lot. Like I said, I'm not where I once was, but I still have a long way to go. So thank you for sharing your story and making it possible for others to share theirs without having any shame or any guilt. Because now it's easier for me to talk about mine without the shame and the guilt and feeling the way I've felt for yours. So thank you, Jake. Thank you, DDP. We appreciate it. Thanks.